With all the great strategies out there, why do some of them fail? We've all had great ideas and great strategies, but they don't all succeed. This time we're going to look at 5 reasons why strategies might fail, some of the pitfalls, and how to avoid them. Number 1, the lack of clear responsibility. There's an old Abbott and Costello sketch called Who's on First? Well, the joke's really about names. In business we often hear someone say, okay, who was on first? This is one of the easiest pitfalls to avoid in your strategy, and it's around clarity and roles. And it's not only about who's in charge, but actually who owns each action. Number 2, overreach. Having a moonshot is a great idea. That's a goal that takes time and stretches the whole team. The problem of overreach is not necessarily the goal, but the time frame and the resources you give them to complete the goal in. Landing a man on the moon within a decade with enough resource was a great goal and was clearly achieved. Landing a man on the moon next week with no budget is an overreach, and it's not going to happen. Also, if your strategy requires you to change something you can't control, that somebody else controls, you're going to find that's going to fail. That's another example of an overreach. 3, poor intelligence. Have you ever heard someone say, if I knew then what I knew now, I would never have started? What you're hearing them say is there's a lack of intelligence, and your knowledge now is clearly better, you're more informed than when you started the project. Look, you can't always know everything about what you're trying to do before you start, and thinking you could would be a mistake. But a lack of good information and good market research, both primary and secondary, is often the cause of a failure of a great strategy. 4, bad communications. Mike Tyson says everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Well, this leads us to the fact that plans need to be adaptive and can change with the circumstances. I think we probably all know that, we get that, and we probably manage for that. The challenge here is you need to communicate the change you've made. In fact, good strategies and good leaders often over-communicate to their team members. Knowing you're on course can be just as important as knowing that you're missing the target. 5, unstoppability. We all know not all our strategies are going to work, regardless how hard we've worked and how clever they were. You can avoid every one of the pitfalls we're talking here, but still have a strategy that isn't going to work. And sometimes you need to accept you are going to fail and that you need to stop. We often hear people say, when you're in a hole, stop digging. That's what they're talking about. For many people, this can be very hard and they fear the implications of failure. But good leaders know when a strategy has had its time and will call a halt to any more work or resources being spent on it. The bottom line here is this: having a great strategy is not enough. You've got to be able to manage the pitfalls and the errors you come if you want to come out the other side.